My 7-year-old daughter, Melody, sat in her sparkly purple party dress for 6 hours, watching the driveway through our living room window. 23 kids were supposed to show up for her birthday party. Not one came. When I found out my mother-in-law, Gloria, had called every single parent that morning to cancel the party, telling them Melody was sick with strep throat, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I called my lawyer instead. And what I removed her from next made her call me 60 times in one day, begging through voicemails that got more desperate with each message. But let me back up because you need to understand who we're dealing with here. I'm Bethany, 34 years old, and I work as a dental hygienist at Riverside Dental. Not glamorous, but it pays the bills and gives me good insurance for my daughter. Melody is my whole world, this bright, bouncing 7-year-old with honey-colored curls and her father's green eyes. She laughs at everything, finds joy in puddles after rain, and still believes that butterflies carry wishes to heaven. Her father, Roland, left 2 years ago, not for another woman initially, but for a job in Phoenix that he swore would be temporary. The CrossFit trainer came later, though I suspect she was always there, waiting in the wings. Roland sends checks and FaceTimes twice a week, but a father on a phone screen isn't the same as a father who teaches you to ride a bike. Then there's Gloria, my former mother-in-law. Picture a woman who irons her jeans, who has never left the house without lipstick since 1987, who keeps plastic covers on her formal living room furniture, even though no one ever sits in there. Gloria raised 2 boys in a house where emotions were weaknesses and appearances were everything. When Roland brought me home 12 years ago, she took one look at my department store dress and community college degree and decided I wasn't good enough. Roland's girlfriend seems sweet, I once overheard her tell her sister Nadine on the phone, but she's not exactly country club material, is she? The birthday party was supposed to be perfect. For 3 weeks, Melody and I had planned every detail. She wanted a butterfly theme because she'd learned in school that butterflies mean transformation, and she was transforming from 6 to 7. We handmade 23 invitations on my kitchen table, each one unique, each one addressed to a specific friend from her first grade class at Riverside Elementary. "This one's for Harper," Melody would say, adding extra pink glitter because Harper loved pink. "And this one's for Freddie. He likes dinosaurs, so I'm drawing a butterfly with tiny dinosaur wings." The morning of April 15th started like Christmas. Melody was up before dawn, already wearing her party dress over her pajamas. The dress had cost more than I should have spent, but the way her face lit up in the store when she saw it made my credit card practically jump out of my wallet. "Mommy, you think everyone will come? Even Sam? He said he might have baseball, but he promised he'd try." I was arranging 36 cupcakes on the special 3-tier stand I'd borrowed from my sister Paige when my phone rang. 8:47 in the morning. I remember the exact time because I was counting down, thinking we had just over 3 hours until the party started. "Bethany?" It was Trisha, Harper's mom. "I'm so sorry to hear about Melody being sick. Gloria just called and explained everything. Strep throat is just awful at that age." The words didn't make sense. I stood there holding a cupcake with a candy butterfly on top, and the morning sun was streaming through my kitchen window, and nothing Trisha was saying computed in my brain. "Melody's not sick," I said slowly, like maybe I was the one misunderstanding. "But Gloria said you were at the emergency room all night. She said the doctor confirmed it was highly contagious, and you asked her to call everyone because you were too exhausted to do it yourself." The cupcake slipped from my hand. Purple frosting splattered across my clean floor. Outside, the bounce house company was pulling into my driveway right on schedule, ready to set up the castle Melody had picked out from their catalog. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't Gloria being confused or trying to help. This was deliberate sabotage. And as that realization hit me, I understood that my former mother-in-law had just declared war on a 7-year-old's birthday. What she didn't know was that I was done being the peacekeeper, done being the bigger person, done protecting her feelings at the expense of my daughter's joy. The divorce from Roland had been surprisingly civil, which should have been my first warning. We sat in a mediator's office on a Tuesday afternoon in September, 2 years ago, and divided up our life like we were splitting a check at dinner. He got the newer car and the investment account. I got the house with its problematic mortgage and full custody of Melody, with standard visitation rights for him. We both pretended this was fair. "It's better this way," Roland had said, signing the papers with his favorite Mont Blanc pen, the one Gloria had given him for his college graduation. "My new position in Phoenix requires too much travel. Melody needs stability." What he meant was that Melody needed a parent who would actually show up, and we both knew that wasn't going to be him. Roland was great at grand gestures and terrible at daily life. He'd buy Melody an expensive American Girl doll but forget to pick her up from dance class. He'd promise elaborate vacations but miss her school plays because of client dinners. Gloria had sat in the hallway during that mediation, literally wringing her hands like a character from a Victorian novel. When we emerged with our signed agreement, she grabbed Roland's arm. "You're really going through with this? Letting her take my grandbaby?" The way she said "her," like I was some stranger who'd wandered in off the street instead of the woman who'd spent 12 years listening to her critique my pot roasts and my parenting in equal measure. Life as a single mom meant restructuring everything. My job at Riverside Dental paid decent money, and Dr. Peterson was understanding about school emergencies and sick days. My parents, Warren and Judith, lived 40 minutes away but made the drive every Sunday for dinner. My sister Paige checked in daily, usually with inappropriate memes that made me laugh during my lunch breaks. Gloria, surprisingly, had initially seemed to accept the new reality. She lived just 15 minutes away in the same pristine colonial where she'd raised Roland and his brother Dale. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a formal dining room where no one ever ate. The house still smelled like the same vanilla candles she'd been buying since 1995. "I want to maintain my relationship with Melody," she'd said 2 weeks after Roland moved to Phoenix. She sat in my living room, ankles crossed, purse clutched in her lap. "Whatever happened between you and my son, she's still my granddaughter." I agreed to Wednesday ice cream dates. 3 to 4:30 every week, Gloria would pick Melody up from school and take her to Sweetberry's ice cream parlor downtown. They'd share a banana split, and Gloria would help with homework. It seemed harmless, beneficial even, since it gave me time to grocery shop alone. But the comments started small. Melody would come home saying things like, "Grandma Gloria says you should put more bows in my hair," or "Grandma Gloria thinks I should take piano instead of dance." Each observation delivered in Melody's innocent voice, but carrying Gloria's judgment. The birthday party planning had actually brought us to neutral ground. When I mentioned it during a Wednesday pickup, Gloria's face had brightened. "Oh, let me help. I threw the most wonderful parties for my boys. Dale's 8th birthday had a magician who pulled a rabbit from a hat." She came over the following Tuesday night while Melody was at Paige's house. We sat at my kitchen table assembling party favor bags. 23 little cellophane bags filled with butterfly stickers, colorful pencils, and fun-size candy bars. Gloria was almost pleasant that evening, sharing stories about Roland's childhood birthdays, carefully writing each child's name on tags with her perfect cursive. "You know, Bethany," she said, using my actual name instead of just you. Roland loved big parties too. His 7th birthday had 30 children. We rented a pony. Of course they did. Everything in Gloria's world had to be bigger, better, more impressive than what anyone else could manage. But that night, with her helping tie ribbons on party bags, I thought maybe we'd found a way to coexist in Melody's life. The week before the party, Melody could barely contain herself. She practiced blowing out candles on everything. Her cereal, bowl in the morning, a stack of books. Once, memorably, on one of my vanilla candles until I caught her. "I want to get it right, Mommy. Everyone will be watching when I make my wish." She'd already told me her wish, of course, because 7-year-olds can't keep secrets. She wanted her daddy to move back from Phoenix. Not back into our house, she was careful to clarify, but close enough that she could see him for real instead of through a screen. It broke my heart and healed it simultaneously. This child who could hold sadness and hope in the same breath. The morning of April 15th dawned perfect. One of those Tennessee spring days where the air smells like honeysuckle and possibility. I was up at 5:30, too excited to sleep, running through my mental checklist. Bounce house arrival at 9, cake pickup at 10, face painter Daphne at 11:30, party officially starting at noon. Melody burst into my room at 6, already vibrating with birthday energy. "Mommy, I'm 7. I'm actually 7. Do I look different? Do I look older?" She spun in a circle, arms out, her nightgown billowing. I caught her mid-spin and pulled her into a hug. "You look perfect, birthday girl. Ready for your special day?" By 7:30, she was dressed in her purple party dress, the one we'd found at Belk after trying on what felt like 100 others. Nothing was quite right until she saw this one, with its layers of tulle and sequined butterflies across the bodice. She twirled in front of my bedroom mirror, watching the skirt float around her. "Harper's gonna love this dress. She said she's wearing her pink one with the roses." I was in the backyard setting up tables, arranging the butterfly tablecloths I'd ordered from Amazon, when my phone rang at 8:47. The bounce house had just been inflated, this massive purple and pink castle that took up half our yard, worth every penny when I imagined the kids' faces. "Bethany?" Trisha's voice was sympathetic, concerned. "I'm so sorry to hear Melody's sick. Gloria just called and said she has strep throat. We'll bring Harper's gift by next week when she's feeling better." The words hit me like ice water. I actually looked around, like maybe this was some elaborate prank. The sun was shining. Birds were singing. My daughter was inside practicing her party princess wave. "What are you talking about? Melody's not sick. The party is still happening at noon." "Oh." Trisha sounded genuinely confused. "But Gloria said the doctor confirmed it was highly contagious, and you were at the emergency room all night. She said you asked her to call everyone because you were exhausted." My hands started shaking. Actually shaking like I'd had too much coffee, except I hadn't had any yet. "Trisha, I need you to tell me exactly what Gloria said." "Well, she called about 15 minutes ago. She said Melody woke up with a high fever and you'd rushed her to the ER around 2 in the morning. She said the rapid strep test came back positive, and the doctor insisted on keeping everyone away for at least 48 hours. She was very apologetic, said you were devastated about canceling, but didn't want to risk getting other children sick." I hung up and immediately called Janet, whose son Freddie was Melody's desk partner at school. "Oh, Bethany, Gloria just called. We're so sorry about the stomach bug. Those can be just terrible." Stomach bug, not strep throat. Gloria was customizing her lies. I called 5 more parents in rapid succession. Each one had received a call from Gloria between 8 and 8:30. The stories varied slightly, but the message was consistent. Melody was seriously ill, highly contagious, and the party was canceled. Some were told strep, others stomach flu. One parent heard it was a severe allergic reaction that had us hospitalized. My mother-in-law had memorized my guest list from when we'd made those party bags together. She'd gotten up early, looked up 23 phone numbers, and systematically destroyed my daughter's birthday party. I tried calling parents back, explaining the situation, but the damage was done. Some didn't believe me, thinking maybe I was the one being irresponsible by throwing a party with a sick child. Others had already made new plans, heading to the farmer's market or the park. A few seemed uncomfortable with the whole situation, caught between 2 adults in obvious conflict. "I'm sorry, Bethany," said Marcus, father of twins in Melody's class, "but this is all very confusing. Maybe it's better if we just stay home today." By 10 o'clock, only 4 families agreed to still come, 4 out of 23. The bounce house sat empty in the backyard, this massive monument to what should have been. 36 cupcakes with delicate butterfly decorations waited on my kitchen counter. The party favors we'd assembled together sat in a basket by the door, names written in Gloria's perfect handwriting, most of them never to be claimed. Melody stood at the living room window in her purple dress, her little hand pressed against the glass. "Mommy, when is everyone coming? It's almost time, right?" "Soon, baby," I lied, my throat tight with rage I couldn't let her see. "Maybe we should put balloons at the mailbox so they know which house." She was trying to solve a problem she didn't understand existed. My brilliant, hopeful girl, who couldn't fathom that someone would deliberately hurt her. At 12:30, I made a decision that would change everything. Melody was still at the window, now sitting on the couch with her party dress spread carefully around her, when I knelt down beside her. "Hey, birthday girl, I have an idea. What if we have a special kind of party instead? A surprise adventure party?" She looked at me with those green eyes, trying so hard to be brave. "But what about my friends? Some of them might still come, and I'm calling Aunt Paige and Grandma Judith and Grandpa. Warren right now. We're going to have the most amazing party, just a little different than we planned." While she went to her room to get her birthday crown, I made the first round of calls. My sister Paige answered on the first ring. "I need you here now. Bring Jerome and the kids. Gloria sabotaged the party. I'll explain when you get here. Just please come." We're in the car already. 20 minutes. My parents were next. My dad Warren's voice went steel hard when I gave him the abbreviated version. "That woman did what? Judith, get in the car. Bethany, we're bringing everything. The guitar, games, everything." With family on the way, I made the call that mattered. Damian Carver had handled my divorce with the kind of precision that made Roland's lawyer look like he'd gotten his degree from a cereal box. More importantly, he understood Gloria's brand of manipulation. "Damian, I need to know my options right now. My mother-in-law just deliberately sabotaged my daughter's 7th birthday party by calling all the guests with lies about illness. Tell me everything. Don't leave out a single detail." I paced my kitchen, stepping over the purple frosting stain from the dropped cupcake, and laid out the morning's events. The systematic calls, the varied lies, the calculated timing. "Bethany, this is serious. We're looking at intentional infliction of emotional distress on a minor, possibly parental alienation if we can establish a pattern. Do you have any of this documented?" I can get written statements from the parents. Some of them offered to forward me the call logs showing Gloria's number. "Do it. Every single one. But there's something else you can do immediately that doesn't require court intervention." He explained that during the divorce, Roland had insisted Gloria be listed on everything as an emergency contact and authorized adult. School pickup lists, medical forms, dental offices, after-school programs, summer camps. She had nearly as much documented access to Melody as I did. "You're the custodial parent, Bethany. You have the absolute right to determine who has access to your child. Remove her from everything, every form, every list, every authorization. She wants to play games with your daughter's well-being. She loses her privileges." "Can I do that? Just remove her completely?" "Not only can you, but given what happened today, I'd argue you should. This is about protecting Melody. Gloria has shown she'll use her access to hurt your child to get to you. That ends today." I heard car doors slam outside. Paige had arrived with reinforcements. Through the window, I saw my parents pulling up behind her, my dad already unloading his guitar case from their trunk. "Damian, I need to go be a mom right now. But tomorrow?" "Tomorrow we file formal documentation. Today you go online and remove her from everything. Save screenshots before and after. Document every removal. And Bethany, if she shows up at your house today, call the police. Don't let her near that party." Harper and her mom Tricia arrived at 1 o'clock, looking sheepish but carrying a wrapped present. The twins, Sam and Oliver, came with their dad Marcus at 1:15, after he'd called me back to apologize for his earlier hesitation. Freddie's family showed up at 1:30 with a homemade card he'd crafted himself. 4 kids out of 23, but when Melody saw Harper running up our front walk, her entire face transformed. "She came! Mommy, Harper came to my party!" My dad had set up his guitar on the back deck, playing Beatles songs while the kids jumped in the bounce house. My mom Judith turned the unused party favors into a treasure hunt, hiding them around the yard for all the kids to find. Jerome, Paige's husband, had stopped at the store and bought water balloons, which led to an epic battle between kids and adults that left everyone soaked and screaming with laughter. While Melody played with her friends, I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop, systematically logging into every portal, every website, every online form where Gloria's name appeared. Riverside Elementary's parent portal. Gloria removed as emergency contact and authorized pickup. Melody's pediatrician patient portal. Gloria removed from authorized adults who could access medical information. The dentist, the after-school art program, the summer camp we'd registered for in March, the ice skating lessons starting in May. One by one, I erased her official presence from my daughter's life. By 3 o'clock, I had removed Gloria from 17 different forms and authorization lists. Each deletion felt like reclaiming territory she'd occupied for too long. The school nurse's emergency contact form, the field trip permission database, the early pickup authorization list, even the public library's form for adults authorized to check out books on Melody's card. At 3:47, my phone rang. Gloria's name flashed on the screen. I let it go to voicemail. 2 minutes later, she called again, then again. By 4 o'clock, she'd called 6 times. I put my phone on silent and went back outside where Melody was having the time of her life. She and Harper were getting their faces painted by my mom, who'd found the face painting kit I'd bought and decided to try her hand at butterflies and rainbows. "Mommy, look, I'm a tiger butterfly," Melody roared, showing off orange and black stripes with purple wings painted on her cheeks. I checked my phone at 4:30. 13 missed calls. The voicemails started controlled and confused. "Bethany, this is Gloria. I went to pick up Melody for our Wednesday ice cream date planning, and the school says I'm no longer on the approved list. There must be some mistake. Please call me back." By 5 o'clock, 24 missed calls, and her voice was shifting from confusion to anger. "This is ridiculous. I know what you're doing. I'm her grandmother. I have rights. Roland will hear about this immediately." At 5:30, Melody was opening presents on the deck while my dad played Happy Birthday on his guitar. She squealed over the art set from my parents, the science kit from Paige and Jerome, and the matching friendship bracelets from Harper. I went inside to cut the cake and found 37 missed calls on my phone. Gloria's voicemails were becoming unhinged. "You can't do this. I've been picking her up every Wednesday for 2 years." The woman at the school office looked at me like I was some stranger. Do you know how humiliating that was? By 6 o'clock, 48 calls. Her voice was breaking now, the careful control cracking like ice in warm water. "Please, Bethany, please. I'm sorry about this morning. I just thought if the party didn't happen, if it was just family, then maybe I could come over and we could all be together like it used to be. I miss my son. I miss my granddaughter. Please don't take her away from me." I walked back outside with the birthday cake, 36 cupcakes arranged on the 3-tier stand with 7 candles on the top one. Everyone sang while Melody closed her eyes tight, making her wish. She blew out all 7 candles in one breath. "What did you wish for?" Harper asked. "Can't tell or it won't come true," Melody said seriously, then grinned, but it was a really good one. By 7 o'clock, the party was winding down. The 4 kids who'd come despite the confusion were leaving with their parents, each one taking 3 or 4 party favor bags since we had so many extras. Marcus pulled me aside at the door. "Bethany, I'm really sorry about this morning. The way that woman called everyone, it's not right. My wife wanted me to tell you she's writing up everything Gloria said for your lawyer." By 8 o'clock, it was just family. Melody was crashed on the couch, still in her purple party dress, but now also wearing temporary tattoos, face paint, and at least 3 friendship bracelets. She was telling my mom about every single present while eating her 3rd cupcake. My phone showed 53 missed calls. The latest voicemail was different. "I know you're not answering. I know you hate me right now. But Bethany, she's all I have left of my son here. Roland was my baby boy, and now he's gone to Phoenix with that woman, and Melody is the only piece of him I can still hold. I'll apologize. I'll call every parent back. I'll tell them I lied. Just please, please let me see her again." By 9 o'clock, 60 calls total. The last 7 were just crying. No words, just Gloria sobbing into the phone. Melody was getting ready for bed, finally out of her party dress and into her pajamas with unicorns on them. "Mommy," she said as I tucked her in, "today was the best birthday ever." "Really? Even though not everyone could come?" She thought about it seriously, the way 7-year-olds do when they're processing something important. The people who really wanted to be here were here. Harper said some kids only come to parties for cake anyway, but everyone here came for me. I kissed her forehead, this child who could find wisdom in disappointment. "Oh, and Mommy? Grandma Gloria didn't call to say happy birthday. Is she okay?" I smoothed her hair back. "I'm sure she's thinking of you, baby." "Maybe her phone is broken. She called you a lot of times." Of course she'd noticed. 7-year-olds notice everything, even when they're spinning in bounce houses and eating too much cake, especially when it's their grandmother who never misses a chance to be involved. 3 days later, a certified letter arrived at my door. The postal worker required a signature, and I knew before opening it who it was from. Gloria's handwriting on the return address was as perfect as always, each letter formed with the precision of someone who'd won penmanship awards in the 1960s. Inside was a 2-page letter, written on her personal stationery, the ivory cardstock with her monogram at the top that she used for important occasions. The check fell out first, $500 made out to me with party expenses, written in the memo line. Her letter was a masterpiece of manipulation dressed up as an apology. She wrote about her grief over Roland's absence, her fear of losing Melody, her panic that morning when she realized the party would happen without her. She claimed she'd only meant to postpone it, not cancel it entirely, that she'd gotten carried away once she started making calls. "I realize now how my actions must have appeared," she wrote, as if the problem was perception rather than the deliberate sabotage of a child's birthday. Roland called that same afternoon. I'd sent him the voicemails from the parents and a summary of what happened, along with photos of Melody enjoying her improvised party. "Mom did what?" His voice was different than I'd heard it in years. Not the smooth sales voice or the dismissive ex-husband voice, but something rawer. "She called every parent? Every single one?" 23 phone calls, Roland. She started at 8 in the morning. There was a long silence. I could hear office sounds in the background, the life he'd chosen over morning pancakes and bedtime stories. I didn't know she was capable of that. Jesus, Bethany, what did Melody say? She doesn't know. She thinks people couldn't come because they were busy. She doesn't need to know her grandmother tried to ruin her birthday. I'll talk to her. To Mom, I mean. This can't happen again. It won't happen again. I've removed her from every authorization list. She has no access to Melody's school, medical records, or activities. You can't just cut her off completely. She's still Melody's grandmother. And I'm Melody's mother, the one who's here every single day, not phoning it in from Phoenix. Your mother deliberately hurt our child to get back at me. That's not grandmother behavior, that's enemy action. 2 weeks. Later, Gloria started therapy. Roland had given her an ultimatum. Get professional help or lose access to both him and Melody entirely. The therapist, Dr. Patricia Wenford, called it adjustment disorder with mixed anxiety and depressed mood, explaining that Gloria had transferred her abandonment fears into controlling behaviors. I didn't care what they called it. Medical terms didn't erase the image of my daughter in her purple dress, waiting for friends who weren't coming. We established new boundaries with the precision of a legal document because that's essentially what it was. Gloria could see Melody once a month for 2 hours in a public place, with me present. No unsupervised visits, no school involvement, no showing up at activities. She had to earn back trust in increments, like a teenager who'd crashed the family car. The first supervised visit was at Sweetberry's ice cream parlor, the same place they used to go every Wednesday. Gloria arrived 10 minutes early, sitting in her car until exactly 2 o'clock. She'd brought a gift, a book about butterflies, which she asked permission to give. "Melody?" she said carefully, like she'd rehearsed it. "I want to apologize. I made some bad choices on your birthday, and I'm very sorry if I hurt your feelings." Melody looked at her grandmother with those wise green eyes. "It's okay, Grandma Gloria. Sometimes people make mistakes. Mommy says what matters is learning from them." 6 months have passed since that birthday. Melody doesn't remember it as the party that went wrong, but as the special birthday when Grandpa Warren played guitar and Uncle Jerome did magic tricks. She tells people about the water balloon fight that left everyone soaked, about how Harper painted her face like a tiger butterfly. Gloria has been consistent with her therapy and her boundaries. She sends cards for every occasion, always with gift cards rather than gifts she's picked out, accepting that she doesn't get to make those choices anymore. The monthly visits have gradually become less tense, though I still sit at a nearby table, ready to intervene if necessary. Last week, Melody asked if Grandma Gloria could come to her school play, not to pick her up or be backstage, just to sit in the audience and watch. I said I'd think about it, and I am. Trust rebuilds slowly, one small moment at a time. But that purple party dress still hangs in Melody's closet, and sometimes I see it when I'm putting away laundry. It reminds me that love isn't just about throwing perfect parties or maintaining family harmony. Sometimes love means standing guard at the door, deciding who gets access to your child's heart, and teaching them that they're worth protecting, even from the people who claim to love them most. If you found value in this story, please like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear that it's okay to set boundaries, even with family, especially with family. Drop a comment below about a time you had to Choose between keeping the peace and protecting what matters most. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stories about real people facing impossible choices and finding their way through to the other side.